This is Jamie Drummond for Good Food Revolution. I am here with Kristin Donovan at Hooked in Leslieville. How are you today?
I am so wonderful.
Now, we are having a little look at the prepared stuff that you have at Hooked. We've never really spoken about that before, which is interesting because I normally leave with something every time. So, what do we have on display here, and what can people purchase from your prepared foods?
I think the thing that I'm proudest of here is our smoked fish.
Smoked fish, okay.
And cured fish. So It's been a labor of love since we've been open. It's been 8.5 years we've been doing it. We've learned a lot of lessons along the way. We're audited by the same certifying body and I would say OMAFRA, which we're audited by same as Maple Leaf Foods, which is
Would you mind
explaining
what that is exactly when you're audited?
The Ontario Ministry of Agriculture and Farming audits us to the same degree, maybe a little bit gentler, than they would audit somebody like a Maple Leaf Foods.
Right, okay.
So we go through quite a rigorous process to be able to smoke our fish. We think it's worth it. We actually feel that we're smoking the fish that we smoke, the end product is some of the best that we've ever had. So we offer a variety of cured and smoked fish. We also offer a ton of different things to add to, like let's say you want to do a smoked fish board, we call them fish charcuterie boards or
fish charcuterie, okay.
Yeah, fish charcuterie. We also offer a bunch of other items that we kind of just developed these over time, and we're really happy with the recipes at this stage. So things get tweaked every now and again, but these are solid items to bring home. So we have a smoked trout dip.
Yeah, I've had that before. It's
currently
fantastic.
It's actually smoked salmon, so it's wild BC sockeye salmon. We have a hot crab dip, which is like 70s style, what your mom may have made, but better.
Definitely not my mother, but I know where you're going with that.
So PEI raw crab, mayo, cream, shallots, wine, cheese, like it's just
And
awesome.
where does it sit on the spice scale?
None,
okay, all right.
No, I mean there's a little bit of like smoked paprika and stuff in there. Then we do a salmon rillette, so essentially we really like slow cook salmon, and then we whip it with clarified butter and shallots and wine, and cover it with a layer of clarified butter and cornichon.
Now you do other rillettes, don't you?
We don't often. Sometimes I'll do a smoked mackerel rillette. It really depends on the time of year. And then we also do potted prawns, so that's kind of a classic. Basically, it's our BC wild side stripe prawns that we cook down with tons of shallots and sherry and cream. And then, it's ridiculous.
And then you have your soups, right? These always go down well.
They do. So these are great ones to take home. These feed 2 to 3 people. We actually have 4, but because it's summertime, we're not doing the 4th one at the moment. But we always do an East Coast chowder. We always do a lobster bisque. And then we always do a Provençal soup.
Lovely.
So broth-based. These ones aren't as cream heavy, but huge flavor heavy. So what we like is the idea that people can come and buy soup and eat our soups like at least once a week and not be concerned that they're eating, half the bottle of 35% cream. That's kind of important to us. Also, we do a whole bunch of sauces. So when we first opened the business, and people were coming in to buy fish, we realized quite quickly, and I shall credit Fred Gunnarsson with this because he came up with a few of these. Fred worked with us for 5 years and currently works at the store on the Danforth. Really taking home a piece of fish with a sauce that's properly seasoned and beautifully made by somebody who has cooking experience, in my mind, is like the best $4.50 you're ever going to spend.
So what kind of sauces do you have?
So we have a bunch. So we have these are for our oysters, typically oysters and shrimp. So I've got like our hooked hot sauce, Murphy's hot sauce, cocktail sauce, which is rocking cocktail sauce. That was so good. We do a sherry mignonette, a creamed horseradish, and then we have like typically 4 to 5 marinades. So it's a miso glaze, a jerk marinade, maple Dijon, as well as a ginger scallion dipping sauce that makes a killer marinade.
Whoa, okay.
And then a bunch of other sauces. So we have chipotle mayo, we have chimichurri, really beautiful caper salsa verde, ginger lime mayonnaise, a dill Riesling sauce, and then of course always a tartar sauce.
Now, dumb question, but something that I think many people should learn. When it comes to marinating fish, what kind of time are we talking about there?
Depends on the fish.
Right.
So, salmon, if you want to still taste the salmon, you don't want to. You can marinate the out of it for 8, 10, 12 hours, and it'll be delicious. But it's going to taste like the marinade and not like the fish. So typically, for a salmon, I would say maple Dijon, a couple of hours.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, max.
Yeah.
And again, depending on the fish. So some fish are really hearty and meaty, and they take to marinate very well. So something like a ling cod, you could put chimichurri on a ling cod, a good 6 hours ahead.
All right.
And still get the flavor of the fish. Also, because of the thickness of the fish, it's not going to penetrate too far.
And it doesn't break down the fish too much?
It doesn't too much. No, there's a little bit of vinegar in that, not too much.
All right. Then what else do you have down? We were talking about the different smoked fish that you have.
So we do a cold smoked wild salmon when it's in season. I never work with frozen fish because truthfully we've learned over time it does not cure properly. So we also do a double smoked steelhead, which is our lowest lake steelhead that is incredible as well, great fat content. This is currently sockeye salmon. We do an Arctic char pastrami. Again, this is a Fred Gunnarsson invention.
Okay.
So this is all of the stuff that looks like it's kind of raw, that is that lox style,
Yes, yeah.
is cured in a salt, sugar, spice, each one different mixture. And then after anywhere from 24 to 48 hours, depending on thickness, even sometimes 72 hours, the fish comes out of the cure, it gets rinsed, and then it gets like a final treatment. On the case of this, it doesn't get smoked. It gets a brushing of maple syrup, and then pastrami spice, and then it gets sliced.
Right.
We also do a citrus cured Cape d'Or salmon. So that's Cape d'Or salmon, which is a beautiful, really lovely farmed salmon, closed containment circuit. Out of Cape Breton, and that's finished with like tons of lime and grapefruit and lemon. And then we also do probably my favorite of all of them is our hot smoked mackerel. So we have Nova Scotia mackerel. It's actually Gulf of St. Lawrence, and that's done in our brine, and then we hot smoke it. So hot smoking meaning not spice, but heat level. So we will put that in the smoker for a good 45 minutes with a crazy smoke on it, which is what makes it so dark looking. And then it just gets finished in the oven, so we get it to the right temperature. And so that is something that I keep in my fridge at home all the time, because if I just want a quick snack, it's awesome. Also fantastic in the morning with scrambled eggs.
All of that is done on premise here, right?
Everything is done in the store.
Yes,
Everything is currently done in the Leslieville location. We closed down our Junction shop in June to open across from the Cheese Boutique in the middle of October. And once we move to that new location, the smoking will happen off-site there.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's good to know.
But everything else always happens in-house.
And then you have a shed load of frozen stuff as well, right?
Shed load.
Yeah.
We do actually. We have a walk-in freezer that's pretty full. So we buy the whole fish, okay? So we pay for everything. So when our team cuts fish, they yield to get the best possible yield out of the fish. But we actually scrape every carcass with a spoon to get every little bit off of it. And what do we do with that fish? We make things. So besides the chowders and things that you see and the soups, we do a ton in our freezer. So we make killer salmon burgers that are literally just salmon, onions, celery, and salt. They go perfectly on the grill. There's no gluten, no dairy. We make crab cakes, although we're currently out until the crabbing season catches up, which will be late August.
Right.
We make fish cakes that are killer. We make fish nuggets. We make fish stock, lobster stock. I'm trying to think what else I make in the freezer. Oh, and then I call them white jerk burgers, given our current political climate. We actually make rockfish burgers. So we take rockfish, I grind it. We've got a huge industrial grinder, and that's done with like really, really beautiful jerk marinade and tons of green onion. And so we have really nice options that are actually really cost effective. I think that the burgers, particularly, they're 8-ounce burgers, 6 to 8-ounce burgers. I think they're like $6 each.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for your time today. We'll speak to you again very soon.
Thank you for having me.
Bye for now.
Bye.